All right, welcome back. We're going to look at surface area of spheres. Now remember, we've already talked about all of the different volume formulas for all of our different solids. So we'll review volume for a sphere here in a second. But first, let's just talk about what a sphere is. It's a round, circular, three-dimensional object. It has a radius. You don't have to take notes on this, as you should already have them. But we have the radius of a sphere. And that is a point from the center, well, it's a line segment, from the center of the sphere out to any point on the sphere. It also has a diameter, and a diameter is when you have a point on a sphere, a line segment through the center of the sphere to another point on the other side of the sphere. It is always twice the length of the radius. And then we have a great circle, and that is a circle that is created when you split the sphere with a plane. And it's always right through the center of the circle, and that's called a great circle, and it splits the sphere into two hemispheres. Okay, so that's a quick rundown, review. And then remember that we had the, what am I trying to say? The volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi r cubed. So that should be on your little cheat sheet. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the surface area of a sphere, and that is all of the area on the outside of the sphere. And you find it by taking 4 pi r squared. So 4 times the area of the great circle, basically. So notice that really the only thing that you need to find surface area is the radius of the sphere. So let's try a couple of these. The first one has a radius of 5 centimeters. So the very first thing I'm going to do is write down my surface formula. And that is 4 times pi times radius squared. So I'm going to put my 5 right there where the radius is, and I'm going to get 4 pi times 5 squared. And when I put that in my calculator, I'm going to get that it is 100 pi, and these are centimeters squared. Or if you put that into a decimal format, it would be 314.16 centimeters squared. And that is the surface area of that sphere. Now the second thing I have is not a sphere, it is a hemisphere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of the sphere, and then I'm going to divide by 2. So again, I'm going to start with a formula. And I wrote my 4 pi r squared, and then I just divided it by 2. Now, I think I'm going to simplify this. So I'm going to have surface area equals 4 divided by 2 is 2 pi r squared. Okay, so now I'm going to look up at my hemisphere, and I'm going to figure out what my radius is. Well, if my diameter, which is what they've given me, is 2, half of that has to be 1. So I'm going to put my 1 right there where my radius is, and I'm going to get that the surface area equals 2 pi times 1 squared, which if I simplify that is just 2 pi, and this is, what is it, feet? Yep, 2 pi feet squared. Or again, I can change this into a decimal, and I get 6.28 feet squared. So that is the surface area of this hemisphere. Now, that is only on the outside of the hemisphere. That does not include the area of the base. That's just the outside curved area. Okay, now I think that you have what you need. If you have questions, make sure that you ask. But otherwise, you can start your assignment.